Okay, so I'm doing a little video on the DRC headlight or turn signal install. First off, I'm going to show you this. Now these are your factory plugs for your turn signals. The orange is left and blue is right turn signal. Now what I did was, you can see how this wire here goes up to this flasher. I basically just cut this. This was the wire that actually ran up to the stock turn signal. I just cut that back. That way I still had my connection there. And the whole idea with that is if I go back to factory, all I got to do is pull that out and pull all my wires out, and then I'd be able to go right back to factory. So that's the whole idea with that. Basically, the way it hooks up here, you've got two wires, which is your white and a black over here. Then you have a red that runs over. Kind of see here. This is for the left turn signal. This is a little module that goes in so that it doesn't blink too fast, or no, that's for the daytime running lamp. Sorry. So these two, I have them, spliced together here. They run up to this little jumper harness, which goes in here, and I have that all soldered in there as well. But those are in the instructions. But anyway, so what I did originally was these were the heat shrink butt connectors, so they don't let any water in or any moisture in there, so it's completely sealed. But I wanted to go to a plug, because if you end up crashing or whatever. I've just replaced this whole piece here, and the whole idea is you want to be able to take them off, because every time if you have to take the turn signal off, you end up cutting the wire shorter, and you have to be careful because eventually you'd run out of wire. But I like to keep things factory looking. So what I'm doing here is, you can see over here, this one is already done. So you see the way this will work. This will come up through there, come back, and I'm going to end up putting right here, I'm going to put the factory style connection up here. That way I'll be able to plug right into that. And same with here. And then the way you do this is I got all my terminals from easternbeaver.com. Come from Japan, I believe. But anyways, when you go to order these, when you order the connectors, you'll get these, and you'll also get the female versions. Don't buy extra terminals. It actually comes with enough terminals. I bought like 5 each, and I didn't even know that they included the actual terminal pins themselves. So I bought enough for a bunch of extra ones, basically, and I didn't even need them. So anyways, now on their website, they will like sell you, the pliers. I had already had these for work. These work great, and you can use these. I end up using this for my stripper. One little stroke, it strips the wire back. Anyways, I'm going to hand off the phone here, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so I already have this wire stripped. Now, I'm going to keep basically these the same. So you see how I have, that's where the pin goes in. So I'm going to keep it like that. So in order to do that, let me drop this and show you the pins. Okay, so this is going to be positive over here. Now, where is I get that in focus there. All right, there it is. As I rotate this, you'll see there's a wider edge on this one side. This can only go in one way, but you want to kind of plan your attack beforehand. so that your wire isn't in a bind when you go to put it in. Okay, so this is the way it goes in, just like this. So this faces up, the opening for where the wire will go in, and faces up with this. Okay, so that's the way I want to crimp my wire on. So I'm going to flip this over here like this. Now, okay, when you go to crimp this, you always want to do the wire first. There's 2 tabs. Okay, and here's the 2 tabs. You've got this tab, which is for the wire, and that is for around the insulation. This is the biggest one. So anyways, what we want to do is get this on here. Kind of hold that with one finger while I get this over here. Now you'll see you've got A, B, C, D, and E. Now for the actual wire itself, I always do it in 2 stages because it crimps better. If you go too small right away, it won't crimp this down right. So for on these, you end up using D in this situation with this DRC turn signal. I've got the DRC 602. So I'm going to go crimp that down. Now I'll show you how it works. Bring that real close and try to get it in focus. It's very tough to tell, but you can see on, like, you'll see the female side for B there. See how there's that little tang in the middle? Well, what that does is that ends up pushing the basically the open end back and close it on itself. So that's the way you end up using this. You see open end here and D. You see how that works, just like that. That's how it's going to crimp. So we're going to do that in 2 stages. We're going to go from D and then we're going to do E. So here's D. Okay, you can see how that, let me get that in focus. Maybe, there it is. Okay, and now we'll flip this over to E. Just like that. Make sure we get a square. Squeeze her down. Now you got a nice, real tight fit there. And now for this insulation, we're going to actually go to C. And I'll just crimp that down. Okay. Now, when you do that, this will actually be kind of flattened. So this here will not fit inside of the actual terminal. See the opening there. Let's see, maybe focus. There it is. Okay, so that's not gonna, when you go to slide this in there, see how that stops there? Well, with this, you actually take, let's see, get that in focus. Okay, right here, you can actually use that to crimp it down just right. So I'll take this now and just get it to, basically it's in a circle now. And now that'll fit in there. Now the problem is with this DRC turn signal, this insulation is very thick, especially just for the wire. So you are going to have to take something thin, and basically you're going to have to persuade it in there a little bit, because it'll go about that far, and then let's see, right there, it'll go about that far, and then it'll stop, and you're going to have to end up getting something in there to kind of push up. I'm using a very small pair of needle nose, and that worked. I just had to kind of be easy with it. You don't want to shove it. And once you get this in, this tab will snap. You'll hear it tink, and it'll click right in, and it won't snap off. It'll just snap in place. Anyways, that's what it end up looking like. And then you're just there's in focus. You're gonna basically just repeat that, and then for the female terminals on the bike there, on the daytime running lamp adapters. So that's kind of how you crimp it. That's the biggest thing. Make sure you use a good tool, because if you do not use a good tool, you're going to end up wasting wire, and you're going to have to do it over again. And just save yourself the time and get a good tool. They do come in handy for that way. You can keep this in a factory looking setup, and you can revert back to factory if you go to sell a bike, or you go, you know, something like that. It's always nice to be able to go back to factory. And here is my box of terminals. Here is the female side. Basically just the same thing, just reverse procedure. Make sure you obviously line up your positive and negative correctly. I don't know if let's see. Yeah, it came from Japan, so but that's about it. Back to the bike. And any questions, give me a shout. Put your comments down and I'll do my best to get back to them.